Today we're going to break down the Obi Wan trailer and go over our thoughts.
May the Force.
The Force.
The Force will be with you. Always.
Welcome to Star Wars Uplink, your source for everything Star Wars gaming. Welcome to Star Wars Uplink. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin, and as always, I'm joined by Sydney Laurel. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You ready to talk some Star Wars?
Let's do it.
Today, we're going to be talking about all things Obi Wan Kenobi, the series, the trailer, breaking down all of our thoughts. So let's jump right in.
Just you reconsider playing that message for him.
Obi Wan Kenobi. We got about a minute and 30 seconds or so of the new trailer. Came out on May 4th. Finally, it seems like the last few years that we haven't really gotten anything on May 4th. I mean, we always expected some big news, but never really happens. This day seems like they actually embraced May the 4th.
About time.
It doesn't seem like it seems like everyone but Disney and anybody that's working on the games actually embraces May the 4th be with you.
Why?
Which is weird because it was like, I mean, obviously it was probably created by all those companies that just sell more Star Wars things on that one day, but
then why wouldn't they embrace it?
Exactly. It's all going back to Disney.
Hello.
So it definitely feels like they haven't fully embraced it, but this is definitely a good step in the right direction. Obi Wan Kenobi. I mean, we were looking at this right before we started recording, but like freaking 7.8 million views in 2 days. I think people are pretty hyped.
I'd say so. My gosh.
That's pretty good.
Those are numbers I would not expect. But then again,
I mean, it's Obi-Wan.
It's Big Daddy Obi-Wan, so
I mean, how can you not be excited about Obi-Wan? We have a little more details too. It's going to be only 6 episodes, and it's a limited series, so more than likely those episodes will be about an hour each. Usually when it's a limited series, that's usually what happens. They're a little bit longer each episode. Not that like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, they don't have a consistent length. One episode may be like 37 minutes, the next episode may be 48, then the episode after that may be 54.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of how Book of Boba Fett worked, which I'm fine with as long as I think that's the benefit of it being on streaming, though, is they don't have to set like, oh, we have to fill in enough content for 45 minutes. They're like, oh, hey, we only have content for 36 minutes, and they do it.
Yeah.
But I hope that, considering we're only going to get 6 episodes, I hope they are much longer.
Was 6 what you were expecting?
It was around what I was expecting, yeah. Because they pitched the other, I mean, this is the first time that they've said it's like a limited series, and the other episodes have been, 7 or 8? Maybe 9?
Yeah.
So I figured it was going to be less than that. And honestly, I thought maybe they would even go down to 5, but I think 6 is a good number.
Yeah.
That's like...
I would say no less than 6.
Yeah.
What can you get done?
That's like 3 2-hour movies.
Yeah.
So
it's a trilogy.
Yeah, it's a trilogy in TV form. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
Pretty good. Okay.
That puts it in a lot more perspective. It's like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
It's a trilogy of movies, but in 6 episodes.
Right.
And again, I love the format. I was reading an article on nofilmschool.com, I think it was, and it was talking about how it was like, how do you make a good video game movie? Well, you make a TV show. That's how you do it.
Yeah, pretty much. And
they use the example of Witcher and what is it? There's a couple other like video game shows that came out in like anime form. Castlevania, that was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you have Arcane, which is like the prime example of like, oh my gosh, this is...
Should I get into this game?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically a trailer for the game, even though
Really?
it's nothing like what the game is, and it's unique characters, but it's set in that same world, so I think that suits it so well.
And it's like how TV shows / movies that they make about books are really just the trailers for the books.
Exactly.
Because they change so much in books or from the TV show or movie from the book.
Yeah.
That's like, well, you're pretty much getting a new experience. You just already know kind of what you're getting into.
Exactly. Like, I mean, the Percy Jackson movies are just freaking garbage.
Yeah.
They're awful. So bad. But it may have introduced people into the book series that they may not have ever thought about it before.
That was me.
Or that whole Wheel of Time thing. We were in the theater watching, I think it was Dune, and the trailer for the Wheel of Time came on. I was like, that looks horrible. And Sydney was like, I'm just taking it as a trailer for the book series.
Like, oh, I guess I want to see the book series because this looks interesting, but I know it's probably crap.
Yeah.
Or it just goes a different direction that everyone's going to be mad about. So I better just read the books.
Exactly. So I think it's fine to be 6 episodes as long as they can tell the story that they need to, and maybe they only need 6 episodes. I think it'd be better for it to be shorter and you want more than to be too long and you're like, I got too much.
Wow, that was way too much info.
And I mean, Obi-Wan's such a beloved character and has risen in such popularity over the last few years. I mean, last 3 decades, considering those movies came out in the 90s.
Oh, man.
So they're getting, I mean, not quite 30 years old,
No.
I don't think, but they're getting up there, which is insane to think about.
Oh, man, how old am I? Oh, no.
I mean, you're 4 years older than Star. When did Phantom Menace come out? 1999?
It was my lifetime. So, yeah, I would have been 4.
Let's see here. Phantom Menace.
Maybe I don't want to know.
Release date 1999. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
May 19th, 1999.
Wow.
We're coming up on its
Birthday.
yeah. 23-year birthday. Oh my gosh. That movie became legal to drink 2 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I mean, a lot longer if you're in the UK. 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. Anyway, Obi-Wan, while we deal with our existential crisis here.
Yeah.
OG 1977 Star Wars fans are like,
Yeah.
we're nearing our 50th anniversary.
You all are just babies.
I mean, 5 more years and then New Hope will be 50 years old.
Wow. Still going strong, though, man.
Yeah.
I mean, those movies hold up.
And it's a pretty concise story as well. Anyway, let's break down this trailer.
Yes. Let's go.
Bring the laptop over here. We open up with the Lucasfilm logo. Obviously, that's not fun. But we get this cloudy scene here. And through the clouds, we see this ship. And I assume it is a transport ship bringing Obi-Wan to what I assume will be transport ship bringing Obi-Wan. Or it tries to tie in the stormtroopers. But it doesn't look necessarily like an Imperial transport ship.
No.
So that's what makes me believe it's Obi-Wan getting there. And it also shows that the Empire's already there.
Yeah.
So that's, I think it's Coruscant. Honestly, I know a lot of people were saying, oh, hey, maybe this is not Coruscant. Maybe this is insert other space city planet.
Moon.
Moon, whatever it is. I wanted to look up what I know Zio commented on what it could have been. And I just want to pull that up here. While
It would just make so much more sense if it was Coruscant, though.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't it be?
The Jedi Temple was there. That's where the majority of them would have been slaughtered.
It's very unique to be able to go back there and see how the effects of the Empire and the falling of the rebellion, or not rebellion, but falling of the Republic has actually affected this town. I mean, the Jedi Temple would be overrun and more than likely be a headquarters for the Sith. Like, there could be quite a bit of stuff there that I think could be super, super cool if they actually embrace it. I mean, I don't know why they're so freaking scared of...
Right?
Of course not. Why?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it just makes so much more sense, like, to do it there, because...
It fits the story, it fits the time frame.
That even if it was overrun, like, all the things that only the Jedi know how to get a hold of in that... in the building, in the temple itself, and like, I don't know, it just seems like there would be so much to go back for.
Yeah, so she's thinking the Coruscant planet may be Nar Shaddaa, which I think Nar Shaddaa is in SWTOR, if I remember correctly. Let me just make sure here. Nar was the largest moon of Nal Hutta, more commonly known as the Vertical City. So it's the moon outside of the Hutt's homeworld, which, I mean, it kind of resembles it, except it's not as like gloomy and filled with. There's a lot of fog and muddiness, and it's a lot dirtier than Coruscant would be. So that's what makes me think that it is Coruscant and not Nar Shaddaa, but I could totally see it being that.
Yeah, because that would make sense, because it wouldn't be a big flight.
But
he wouldn't be getting away from Luke very far.
Because it is in the Outer Rim.
Right.
That could make sense, I guess. But still,
it's just not as fun.
Every casual fan is definitely going to think that it's Coruscant.
Yeah.
So why not just embrace that?
Right.
I want Coruscant.
Go where the heat is, man.
I mean, Coruscant's so good. I want it so bad. And this could make sense because this could be before he really settles down on Coruscant. We could get kind of the prequel of the after prequels. I think that could be cool if they want to tie it into that. But again, I think the thinking that it may be Nar Shaddaa makes sense.
Yeah.
And then we get to see little baby head man, the Grand Inquisitor, who I still hate the look of.
What are they thinking?
So tiny, especially with how big his body is.
I know. That's the whole thing.
Just
is
not
that the Grand
impressive.
Inquisitor was like a big head and like this slender body that was kind of creepy, you know? But no, we've got this buff dude.
I don't care about his buffness. I care about the freaking ugly bulbous head that he has. Like, why? I my reaction video is like, I don't like. I would not be intimidated by that at all. Like, I would ultimately die, but I would not be intimidated by that if someone came up to me looking like that. I'm sorry, actor, but your bald head just doesn't cut it. It's just not quite there. It's too human. I'm sorry. Work on expanding the top of your head.
And why didn't they give it some texture or something?
Yeah, like there's barely anything there.
It's just a bald head.
Bald head man. We get to see Luke again, which they love showing that shot of Luke.
Honestly, I really appreciate that they didn't give us much more.
I did too, yeah.
Like,
I
all
think
of
I
this,
said that in my reaction is like,
yeah,
they're using a lot of the same clips, or maybe just a secondary shot of that same clip.
It's like they're just extending them, or like giving us like the vocal or like the conversations that are actually happening in that
stuff.
Yeah. So
yeah, I totally agree with that. It's
great.
good that they're being a lot safe with it. I don't want to be spoiled with it. Star Wars, I mean, some of the, especially with the movies, they tend to go a lot more revealing, but I'm glad that they didn't give us a whole lot more here. And then from that scene, we see Luke. We see also Lars Owen, which is the original actor that was in the prequels, which is awesome.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was such a minor character, but
they brought him back.
I'm like, okay, good job, guys. Good job. I feel like
he's gonna be so good. That interaction and that friction. I mean, he roasts Obi-Wan like you trained his father. Oh my gosh! First of all, I do have like an asterisk though. Like, how the frick does he know about that?
Yeah.
Like, do you think Obi-Wan's going around like, oh man, Anakin, man, I totally ruined it. Like, no, he's probably gonna keep that to himself and just like wallow in self-pity for a little while. He's not gonna tell anybody that. Who told him?
Yeah. I mean, unless they have to
Lars
tell.
Force sensitive?
But isn't Anakin connected to this family
through his mom?
Him.
It's his mom's husband's son.
Right, but they met him.
Yes, at the end.
And so he was probably have to tell them like, "Hey, this is Anakin's son."
Yeah, but you don't have to be like, "Oh yeah, I killed him, and I was the reason that he fell to the dark side."
Right.
Would that be something like, "Hey, buddy, could you watch this kid for me?"
Right. Or
it's not my fault.
Right.
I mean, it's totally my fault.
His dad died. Please watch this child. Like,
his mom also died.
That's kind of how the conversation just goes.
Yeah, except it's a lot more believable and understandable why Anakin died versus freaking Padme dying of sadness. Like, seriously?
Hey,
I'm sorry, but
don't underestimate the qualms of the woman.
Killed his father, and his mother died of sadness. Could you watch this kid for me?
You've heard of people dying of broken hearts before.
No,
Get over yourself.
Still.
Don't be so dramatic about women's emotions. Goodness.
Oh my goodness. Don't you be dying from sadness now, okay?
Well, don't you be dying, okay? Or turning to the dark side.
I mean,
or shunning me from
you
ships.
don't know what I get up to on the weekends.
Sir.
I'm building my own dark side cult over here.
Do they have cookies?
No.
Well, then I can't join, and I will die of a broken heart. Because the cookies are not there.
We also see the Grand Inquisitors in the lovely Grand Inquisitor's Tower, which is pretty cool to see. Mm-hmm. Again, kind of like tying in those notes that we saw from Fallen Order, which is always cool. Mm-hmm. Ewan McGregor also made a comment. We'll talk a little bit after the break about that, but just to give you a little bit of tease that we're going to be talking about a little bit later on in the episode. He said something about something. Stay tuned.
Most intriguing.
And again, we see some ships leaving the Inquisitor's Tower thing, going off to who knows where, more than likely. I think a big thing is we're seeing the Inquisitors, for some reason, wanting to track down Obi-Wan. And to do that, they're trying to enlist all of the bounty hunters that they can to start tracking him down to his set location. And maybe Obi-Wan gets word of this, and that's why he goes away from Tatooine to draw that danger away from Luke.
I'd imagine that's probably how they're going to play it.
Mm-hmm. It would make sense. Mm-hmm. Where else? What's a better place to blend in than Coruscant or Nar Shaddaa?
Right.
It'd be pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Blend in.
Preferably Coruscant.
Mm-hmm. Be great. But as long as we get space,
Oh.
cyberpunk, I'm fine with.
Right. Okay. You sure?
I mean,
Sure
obviously,
you
I would prefer Coruscant.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
just making sure that when we see this and you're like, but it's not Coruscant.
It's not.
Then I'm going to remind you of what you said.
Mm-hmm. Still.
Did you get Star Wars Cyberpunk? Okay.
Partly, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in this episode.
We'll find out.
We see Obi-Wan kicking some butt without using a lightsaber, using his hand-to-hand combats. There's got to be a so uncivilized reference in this, right? He's got to like beat the crap out of these bounty hunters, and then as soon as he does, he like throws his blaster away.
Yeah. So
uncivilized. After that, we once again see the Inquisitor's hut thing, temple place, whatever.
I like hut.
We see the lightsabers. We see a very interesting looking droid that we saw in the previous one. And people were like, that's not a droid. That's some strange trooper thing. It's like, no, it's a droid.
It's definitely a droid.
Definitely a droid. Dinko and Spider-Bat. I laid down the proof, and here we have even further proof. We saw the double blade lightsaber. We also see
cute little handheld
droid thing's pretty cool. We also see what is his name? Kumail Nanjiani, who is a comedian. He was also in the Eternals. He got like super buff to be in the Marvel Eternals show or movie, which we still haven't watched.
No, we have not.
He'd be like one of the main reasons I would watch it. He's hilarious. But he's in it apparently. He's in Star Wars. We see a cute droid.
That's confusing.
That scene looks, I think the more we see it, like that scene looks very Nar Shaddaa-y. Mm-hmm. So maybe it is Nar Shaddaa. Also, super cool thing that they just like put in there is we see the creation of Darth Vader. Mm-hmm. We see his robotic arm being put on, which is freaking awesome. And we see his little breastplate thing get put on as well, which is also awesome. It's a regulator for his suit and his breathing and all the tubes that he eats and poops with, all of that fun stuff.
Yummy.
We see that getting put on, and as soon as it gets connected and powers on, we see Obi-Wan open his eyes in the shadowed area. It's pretty freaking cool.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, I'm
10
so
out of 10.
excited for this show. It's going to be so good. Yeah, so that's our little bit of a breakdown on Obi Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus show coming out very soon. 21 days, 3 weeks away.
The countdown's on.
So close. So close. And with that, we're going to take a short break and be back to talk about the thing Obi-Wan's actor Ewan McGregor said on that other thing.
This podcast is a production of Uplink Media Group. Uplink is a podcast network dedicated to highlighting the love and experience of gaming and pop culture. Check out our other shows, The Battlefield Show, Star Wars Uplink, and The Forge, the Halo Infinite podcast, as well as our YouTube channels for even deeper dives into Battlefield, Star Wars, and more. YouTube.com/Uplink podcast and StarWarsUplink.com.
Only different in your mind. You must unlearn what you have learned.
Okay. So, Ewan McGregor mentioned how this show could tie in to one of the future Star Wars games. And I think we can all assume which one it may tie into. Do you have any guesses? Think back to the references and the comparisons we made from a past episode to what this story looks like. Hiding from the Empire.
You're thinking, shoot, of course the name's not going to come to me, but
Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Really?
I think he could make an appearance. Depending on how this show goes, I could totally see him making an appearance in Fallen Order 2. Meeting Cal. Like, that'd be freaking awesome. Same time frame. It would match up very well. It would also make sense in a story perspective because the holocron that Cal has, Obi-Wan made.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be perfectly placed story-wise, gameplay-wise, setting-wise to just go that route.
So by connecting it, like he's meaning like the game will kind of connect it, not really the show.
Yeah, the game would connect it to the show. Because they're still, again, very scared to connect the video games for some reason. Like, come on.
Get over yourselves, guys.
Give us the make some tie-in. I want to see Cal Kestis have a TV show. I want them to make that like legendary jump of like this is a full cinematic universe type thing where we have, I mean, they're freaking throwing every single Clone Wars character humanly possible into Mandalorian, even though it doesn't really make sense because it happens after the original trilogy. Why can't we have Cal Kestis make some appearances in these shows as they come through? I could totally see him being a big focus in Ahsoka, maybe, depending because that happens before the original trilogy, maybe, or is it after the original trilogy? I don't know if they fully detailed it. I think it's supposed to tie into Mando, which I mean, I'd be down to see an old Cal Kestis.
Yeah.
If freaking Ahsoka's there,
oh my gosh,
Cal Kestis could
anything.
totally go there.
Anyone could be alive at this point.
Exactly. What is death when you are in Star Wars? Death is just a figment of your imagination. There's time travel that could save you. There's just not dying that can save you. There's this
yourself.
Force thing that can save you. There's just rage that can save you. I mean, there's so many different ways just to subvert death. Palpatine.
But heaven forbid the broken heart thing.
Exactly.
That will kill you. So look out.
Don't get sad. Or you will die.
Don't have your
There is no recovering from depression in Star Wars. I'm sorry. It's a step too far. You can get stabbed. You can get shot. You can fall down an elevator shaft. You can fall down a shaft to a reactor core and blow up a Star Destroyer. You can still survive unless you're sad.
Sounds about right.
Some struggles are too deep to recover from.
Yep. It's all about the emotions.
Tis but a flesh wound.
The drive to live.
Yep.
It's just if it's not there, it's not there.
Exactly.
It's not there, man.
It's a struggle sometimes.
Oh, man.
Welcome to Star Wars. You can get stabbed to death, supposedly, many times, but still come back later through some plot hole just because Mr. Dave Filoni really likes you as a character. Anyway, Obi-Wan could be in a video game, which I'd be totally down for, because we haven't seen him in... We didn't see him in Battlefront's campaign. We didn't see him in Squadron's campaign. We didn't see him in any of those stuff. Like, he's one of those characters that doesn't show up a whole lot in terms of, like, outside of... I mean, he's got a comic run that they've done, some books he's been part of, but honestly, outside of, like, those, like, readable formats, he's not in a whole lot of stuff.
No.
I think that's adds to the hype of Obi Wan Kenobi, the show, so much. It's like we don't really know a whole lot about him, and especially, I mean, we knew more in Legends, but we still don't know a lot about him in canon. Like, honestly, we know very, very little about what his motivations are, his experiences, his history, all of that stuff. Like, there's a lot there.
I know,
and it makes me excited.
I know.
So I'm definitely looking forward to it. Let us know in the comments what you're most excited for around this show. Do you think it's are you team Nar Shaddaa or are you team Coruscant? If you're watching this on YouTube, let us know in the comments. And if you're listening to this on your drive, your morning walk, your workout, your run, wherever you are, while you're playing video games. I mean, I listen to a crap ton of podcasts while I play video games, which is honestly like one of the motivations of starting this show. Have something to listen to while you play the games. Let us know. Contact at uplinkpodcast.com. Send in your emails. Send in your theories. Let us know. We may be doing a theory episode.
Ooh.
That'd be pretty fun. Yeah, let's do a theory episode. What are your theories around the future of Obi-Wan? Let us know. Send us a comment, an email. Reach out on Twitter at Star Wars Uplink or at Uplink Podcast. Hit us up all the places. Let us know your thoughts. It'd be pretty fun.
We need to hear your voice.
Let us hear your voice. You could also record a voice recorder on your phone. Use a voice app.
Yeah.
Send it in.
Heck yeah.
Email it to us.
We could play it right here.
Yeah, we could play it right here.
On the episode.
You can hear your lovely voices because we know you all sound beautiful. I think with that, we could call it an episode. Mm-hmm. As always, thank you so much for listening and watching this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, you can find the podcast wherever you find podcasts. You may want to start the podcast on YouTube and finish it off on your app, or you may want to do it the opposite, or you just want to listen to audio or just watch it on video. I mean, that's totally fine. Mm-hmm. We'd love it if you share the podcast with your Star Wars friends and family. And all the discussions. Subscribe for free wherever you find podcasts. Leave us a review. Helps us out a ton. Gets us your feedback and helps us reach other listeners. And as always, may the Force be with you. Have a good one, everybody.